sent a kill switch command to those tractors and rendered them permanently inoperable. We all cheered, and I understand why. That's a fun, cool story. But it does mean that John Deere could shut down every tractor in Canada if they wanted. This is a matter of sovereignty and food security to make sure that we're in charge of our own digital infrastructure. There's no reason not to repeal this, right? Why use retaliatory tariffs that just hit everyone in the American economy and make things more expensive for us? You know, the blocking soybeans hurts a farmer that in a state that begins and ends with a vowel who never did anything bad to Canada. But, you know, making it legal to jailbreak every Tesla, unlock all the software upgrades, unlock all the subscription features, and send not a dime to Elon Musk, that's way better than fetching about his Nazi salute. That's like kicking him in the dongle, hitting him really where it hurts.
Antitrust is another way you say we can counter antitrutification. You talked about Google and its monopoly. Federal courts have been penalizing Google. It's been seen as a fairly light penalty. What does that tell you about regulatory bodies, the courts, how much teeth there is to deal with big tech?
Well, you have to understand that in the Reagan era, America pretty much abandoned antitrust, and so did most of its partners around the world, you know, the UK, Europe, and South Asia, and Japan, South Korea, and Australia, and so on. In Canada, we never really did pursue competition. We've always had the world's weakest competition regulator. In its history, the Competition Bureau only challenged 3 mergers and succeeded never, so we didn't really have to abandon it. But America stopped policing monopoly formation, and they got a lot of monopolies. We've had 40 years of bad precedent against the antitrust laws that say that companies shouldn't be allowed to dominate their sector and become too big to fail and too big to jail and too big to care. And so it's really hard to reverse that trend. It's going to take a long time. But the reality is that Google was convicted of being a monopolist 3 times last year in the US. In 2024, Justin Trudeau whipped his caucus to pass a new competition bill that gave our competition regulator the most muscular powers of any competition regulator in the world and gave them a budget to use those powers. In the UK, under a series of increasingly shambolic and farcical Tory governments, one of which didn't outlast a head of lettuce, the Competition and Markets Authority did their best work in 40 years. The European Union has got the Digital Markets Act, the Digital Services Act. We've seen big muscular action in South Korea, Singapore, Japan, Australia, and China, which has taken really hard aim at its tech giants because, contra everything, you know, the people who lobby for Meta will tell you, China does not treat its tech giants as an arm of the Chinese state. They treat them as a competitor of the Chinese state because they are.